Hello, I'm Adam Barker, professional photographer. Today we're hanging out in the Ski Utah Powder Lounge and we're going to talk a little bit about ski photography. I'm Adam Barker, I'm a professional photographer out of Salt Lake City, Utah, one of the meccas of powder skiing here. And today we're going to go over a little bit of what I use on a daily basis, what's in my pack. We're also going to give out some photography tips, and hopefully you guys will come away with some information that will help you to capture some better images there on the slopes. So from a pack perspective, I use the Click Elite Contre-Jour pack. This is a new pack from Click Elite. Really, it's the best pack I've used out there for skiing for a couple reasons. Number one, it fits my camera gear very well. Number two, it gives me, plenty of space for my backcountry gear and other gear like extra coats or gloves, skins, stuff like that. And then most importantly, it just skis very well, fits my body super well. One of the things that's most important when we're out there on the mountain is not to feel restricted by the equipment that we're using. So this is a brand new pack out this year. I was involved in a lot of the testing and the prototype versions of this. So it's just a fantastic pack for dedicated ski photography. You're not feeling like you're compromising in any area. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's in my pack, what I use on a daily basis when I'm out there shooting ski imagery. I shoot all Canon bodies and lenses, and the body that I'm shooting right now most often for action sports is the 1D Mark III. It's a fantastic body for fast action, 10 frames per second, great autofocus system. But many of you know there is a newer version of this camera out, the 1D Mark IV. And, it's kind of interesting to note that not even all the pros have the latest and greatest. So I definitely try and focus on the vision, not the gear. And I think, I try and relay that to as many people as possible, is don't use your gear as a crutch. It's certainly helpful to have the best gear that you can get, but, I didn't obtain all this gear overnight. Many of us can't afford the latest and greatest. So if you're one of those people, don't fret. Make do with what you've got. I will say that one of the most important things with fast action photography is to have a fast body. This body shoots 10 frames per second. I believe the 70 shoots 8 frames per second. And probably the lowest frame rate that you want to go with when shooting fast action is 5 frames per second. You really want to give yourself an opportunity to catch as many frames as you can of the action that's taking place. So that's probably one of the most important things when considering what gear to be using or what body to be shooting for fast action is its frame rate. And then also the autofocus system. This has a really solid autofocus system. It's very quick, very accurate. So that's another thing to consider, is the autofocus system in the bodies that you're using. This lens is the 70-200 f2.8, so it's a very fast lens. Again, just like your fast frame rates, you want to be using fast lenses, especially because a lot of the time when we're shooting, when the light's best, it's low light, so the sun is close to the horizon. It's got image stabilization, which is great for low light shooting as well. And it's kind of this is the workhorse for most ski photographers. This focal length, the 70-200, it's wide enough that you can show some of the bigger picture, but you got that extra reach on the longer end to get tight and feel the frame if you choose to do so. So definitely kind of the standard rig right here, the 70-200, the 1D Mark III. Looking at a couple of the other lenses I take out with me. 16-35, again a 2.8 lens, and very quick lens. Also something worth noting, fantastic Sunstar with this lens if you're into that at all. I come from a fine arts scenic background, so if you're ever stopping down to f16, f18, you're looking to get a real succinct Sunstar, this is a really great lens for that. Another lens that I carry with me, the 24-105, this is a 4.0. So a little bit slower lens, but the nice thing about camera technology these days is these bodies are so advanced and so good at higher ISOs that you can kind of compensate for slower lenses by dialing up that ISO if you need to do so. This is a very sharp lens. It's a really great lens for anybody that's getting out in a helicopter or doing aerial work, really great focal range. And if you had to choose just one lens for like a one lens wonder, this isn't a bad lens. It's wide enough that you can shoot the wider angle, and at 105 on the long end, it's it's moderately long. You can definitely get some tighter shots with it. But if you're just one of those people that's looking for, one lens to take out with you, the 24-105 is really not a bad choice. Then I got the 50mm fisheye with the custom lens cap here, the cotton glove. It's really nice. This is a pretty popular lens for action sports photography. Gives you that fisheye effect. I use it in moderation. Sometimes I like the fisheye effect. I think it can get a little bit cliche. But it's also a great wide-angle lens for the crop bodies like the 1.6 and even the 1.3 on the 1D Mark III for the crop sensor. It gives you less distortion and it functions more of just a really nice wide-angle lens. So this is definitely an affordable lens, and it's a 2.8, so it's very quick as well. Great lens for action sports photography. Then I got a 1.4 extender in here. Great for the 70-200 when you just need a little bit more length on that. And you do got to keep in mind that you lose a stop of light when you're throwing this on. But it's very small and compact, and it's a lot of the time it comes in super handy. So it's worth having an extender around when you need just a little bit more reach. As far as kind of some of the smaller accessories that I'm always taking with me when I'm out there on the mountain. Take a look in here. This pack's got some nice little pockets and storage space. A headlamp for the dawn patrols and late nights, definitely key. Maybe bring an extra for the athletes, they always forget. Leatherman, never know what you're going to need to fix out there, so I definitely always take that with me. Polarizers, polarizing filters are super key. They deepen the sky, they help make those clouds pop, and they're most effective when used at 90 degrees to the sun and when the sun is low in the sky. So think about that when you're composing your images. I've got one for both an 82mm front element and a 77mm front element out there. And then we also got a couple of memory cards here and memory card wallet. And I try and take 4 and 5 out with me. Try and limit it to 8 or 16 gig cards. I don't want them to be too large just because I don't really want a full day's shoot on one card. If for some reason the cards go bad, I won't lose the full day's work. And microfiber lens cloth, super important. Just clean it off when you get sun or raindrops or snow, drops of water on your lens. And then one thing I forgot to mention as well is a crucial thing for me in my style of shooting is grad ND filters or graduated neutral density filters. I come from a fine arts scenic background, and I use these a lot to moderate the dynamic range or to handle images that have a dynamic range beyond that of our sensor, meaning that sky could get blown out or bright foregrounds could get blown out. So these are a really, really handy tool for basically moderating that dynamic range and bringing those highlights into an area that allow the camera to kind of see as our eye sees. Depending on the day, I may or may not take a 300 2.8. This is the biggest lens that I'll take with me, and a fantastic lens for obviously longer lens shooting. It's a 2.8, so it's very fast. It's unbelievably crisp and sharp, and for any time you got those longer lens shots, it's key. It's vital. It's also a great lens for headshots. You get that nice background separation, and if you can talk yourself into carrying it around with you in your pack, you'll use it, and it's unbelievably sharp. It's an amazing lens for sure. And then depending on the vision I have for the day, if I'm looking to get a little bit more creative, I may or may not take a 24mm tilt shift with me. This is really primarily a landscape and architecture lens, but it does have a lot of cool creative applications in ski photography. So it's fully manual focus, so it's definitely a different style of shooting, different type of shot that you're looking for, but that may or may not make it in the bag as well. And then if I need to be taking a tripod for the day, I'll definitely choose my Gitzo 1550T. This is a fantastic tripod for hiking around anytime you're going long distances and you're worried about weight and space. You can see it's super compact. It's carbon fiber, so it's really light. But standing up and extended, it's about 4.5 almost 5 feet tall with the center column extended, and then really right stuff ball head. This is their smaller version, the BH42. Really, really crucial piece of gear. Super particular about getting tack sharp shots, and so in shooting low light, sometimes shooting longer lens shots, you need to have that stabilization, and a tripod will give you that. So this thing is about the best backcountry tripod you can get out there. One of the other challenges of ski photography is communicating with your athlete and actually communicating to them your vision in a verbal manner. You got to think about the fact that the photographer is standing below the athlete. Everything looks different looking up the slope. And the hardest part about getting that 5-star image, that 5-star ski image, is making sure the photographer and the athlete are on the same page. And for me, that was kind of one of those things, coming from a fine art scenic background, that was a little bit of a challenge, because all of a sudden I had to rely on more than just myself to come away with a keeper of an image. And so communication is vital. You need to get very specific, where to turn, how to turn. It might be something like pole position, where they're placing their pole. It might be, okay, you want them deep in the snow or you want them above the snow. It's important to communicate to them the type of image that you're shooting. Are you shooting a frame-filling image, or are you pulling back and showing the bigger picture? Because all of these things affect the way that the athlete skis and sees that image. If it's a good enough image or one that you think is really a keeper, it might be worth having the athlete come down to you and actually seeing from your perspective if there's any confusion. It might even be worth shooting the image on your camera and showing them on your LCD display the type of image that you're shooting and where they will be, because all of these things help the athlete to better understand the image that you're seeing in your head. Most oftentimes, if an image doesn't work out, it's because the photographer didn't communicate it to the athlete. I'd love to blame it on the athlete every time, but I always kind of, it's really my job to communicate to them what type of image I'm going after. And then lastly, I always encourage, or I try and encourage myself to look for a different type of shot. Anybody can find a fresh patch of snow, put a powder turn down in there, get a nice frame-filling powder shot. But really our goal as photographers is to take the viewer there, to place them there at that time. And the way we do that is by conveying a 3-dimensional scene across a 2-dimensional medium. So look for leading lines, look for ways to bring the viewer into the frame. Look for compositions that are going to include elements of the scene like rock or tree formations, maybe cornices, linear patterns in the snow, anything like that that will give the image depth and dimension. If you think to yourself, okay, my goal here is to take the viewer there, and how can I do that? Look for different angles, whether they're down low or up high. And by doing this, you're really going to be able to come away with more of a unique image, and one that speaks to the viewer and tells a story.